Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DJ Keo, and today we're going to talk Pulselocker. I'm going to try not to gloat. I called it. I said it. I said it was going to happen. Nobody wanted to listen to me. And if you look at the video I did, it's I think it has the most dislikes out of any other video I've ever made, and just the ratio, like it was savage. People were complaining about it. I got text messages like, "You don't know what you're talking about. Your Post Locker is gonna be great." Blah blah blah. Yeah, Post Locker closed down, and I just did an update for Record Box DJ, and like it was like, "Poof, we're removing Post Locker." I just I just want to say, like, when I make these kind of future proof things, I'm talking about the future, like, you should listen to me. Not because I'm smart or have any influence or anything like that. It's because I'm always right. No, I'm just kidding. That's so arrogant, man. The only reason why I felt about Post Locker like that is because I was doing some research into these streaming services, and uh, they're not profitable. It costs too much to do the licensing. No artist gets paid properly, and companies like Spotify and even Tidal's been losing money since the day it got started. And Apple Music, whatever, they could care less about Apple Music. That they're doing that for giggles. Like, Apple Music doesn't mean anything to Apple as a company. That's basically an add-on for iTunes, and one more reason why you should stay with and get an iPhone. That's their logic behind it. But like a company like Pulselocker, which is pretty independent, and they were they're making grandiose plans for what they're going to offer to DJs as a whole, and it just it's not feasible. I mean, like, I don't even know about DJ pools, but I think that their service and what they offer is a lot more profitable than something like Pulselocker could offer, or even Spotify at this point. Um, I mean, it's nice that you're able to download the songs, and it's almost like being in a record pool. But, and the biggest but is that Pulselocker needs to keep up the content from all these record companies, and they had to pay them, and then make it reasonable so that DJs would want to use it. Because really, Pulselocker should have been, like your record pools, some of them are like $60 a month or like even higher. Like, and they're not offering a streaming service and all this back catalog and all this other stuff. Like, they're just right to the point, and that's the only way they could have survived. But like, I think this current generation of Me Too and Free, it's almost impossible to get them in on something like that. Because if you look at record pools, people who use record pools are like uber professionals. They're on the next level up from I DJ my high school graduation. These are the people that are in radio stations. They go on tours. They're like the head DJ at a huge club or venue, whatever. Like the people who use record pools are at a higher level, whereas Pulselocker was trying to sell their product to people who DJ at home in their basement. Like, to be honest, that's where it was. And they're also trying to make it so that the DJ who's at home in his basement could fill up his catalog with Pulselocker music and be on par with somebody who's been doing it for a long time. And I couldn't see how it was feasible. I called it, and it happened. And I don't want to make a gloat video, because I'm sure these people are really nice, and I'm sorry to see the company go down, but like, it's just not possible in this day and age, with especially the way record companies aren't making the money they used to be making. They don't have time to license out stuff on the cheap, which is why like a company like Spotify, I honestly feel Spotify is a Ponzi scheme, man. Until they get bought out by Google, I'm convinced Spotify is gonna close their doors at any minute. It's not just these companies, right? SoundCloud was about to shut their doors down like any minute now. Um, there's a couple websites that were doing web hosting for DJs to put their mixes on, and they all closed their doors too. Like it's just this current platform and the idea of streaming music is just not profitable to the level that it needs to be for these companies to offer the catalog that current consumers want. We're in a day and age where everybody just expects everything. I can't count how many times that I've DJ'd a party or a club or something, and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, you got this weird, obscure song that no one's ever heard of," and then you're like, "No," and they look at you crazy, like, "What do you mean? Just go on the internet and get it." Like, what? It's this weird culture of uh, everybody wants everything right now, like as soon as possible, and so that gimme it is just feeding this beast, so that you can't even meet expectations of, well, you know, Spotify, say they have 50 million songs, but they don't have this one obscure song, so Spotify sucks. Like that's the attitude people have towards these streaming services, and it makes it almost impossible for them to thrive or stay afloat. And and until I'm proven incorrectly, I don't even need to see the books, but Spotify is a Ponzi scheme. There's no way they're keeping their lights on based on how they're conducting their current business. Because it's not like Netflix. Netflix was streaming old series, old shows, and before they got to where they are right now, right, where they're this huge multi-conglomerate company, and they have millions of subscribers, and they're all paying their $9 a month or whatever. Like when Netflix started, they were just doing like Buffy the Vampire seasons and just is obscure stuff. And it took a while for them to build to the point where they are now. And they even realized that this current model is unsustainable, which is why they started creating their own content, because it's cheaper to do that than to go pay the license fees for a lot of these big shows. And so if you look at it, they always pull stuff off, and they don't keep things on there for the duration of however long you got your service for. It's always changing. They're always pulling things on. They're always putting things on because it's impossible to keep everything there. And it's the same thing with music streaming. It's literally impossible to put every album from 1970 something up until 2018. Like it's impossible to do that. And so there's going to be huge gaps in what you can put on there and what you can keep on there. And it's going to be because they can't afford it. It's just flat out. It just can't be done. So I'm sorry to be right, I guess. I'm still gloating a little bit because, they savaged me in the comment section and text messages. They people pull out the pitchforks and be like, I don't know anything I'm talking about. And I was right, bitches. I was right. Yeah. Okay, I'm done gloating. I don't think there's going to be another service like that for DJs in the future. I think this is pretty much a wrap here for this type of thing. And I think it's going to take a new idea about it, or maybe a more narrow focused search, like you just kept it to deep house, or like it would have to be a more narrow kind of catalog that you leave on your platform. And even then, like, I don't know if you could pull enough people, because Beatport's doing okay, but like Beatport is not catering to everybody. Beatport is catering to a specific type of DJ, and I guess it's enough to keep them afloat right now, because they're just like iTunes. They're not really paying for it. I guess they're giving you a cut from what you use, rather than having to license the stuff like Pulselocker had to. So I don't know. I don't think that it's feasible right now for that kind of company to thrive in this market, especially with the hobbyist DJs are slowly packing up their gear and putting it on eBay, and just like putting the cobwebs of getting on their stuff. It's it's a tight market now, and it's not for everybody. So I don't think there's enough people to make this thing go. But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. So please leave your comments below. I like to hear what you guys think about what happened to Pulselocker, and if something else can come in its place and pick up the slack. So anyways, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and peace out, bitches.